Call to order, regular council meeting, Monday, January 18th, 2016. Pledge of allegiance. Roll call, Mayor.
Mrs. Brew,
Here.
Mr. Babalani,
Here.
Dr. Hayes, Mr. Menegini,
Here. Need a motion to excuse Mr. Hayes.
I make a motion, we excuse Dr. Hayes.
Support.
Mr. Babalani,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Approval of minutes, regular meeting of January 4th, 2016. Any comments or corrections? Need a motion to approve.
I got a couple questions. On page 6, Ray, the fabricating machine for the number
Mark,
3.
just the minutes, Mark. We're on the minutes here.
Oh, okay.
Just the minutes.
I thought you were on
You're
the
getting ahead of yourself.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of January 4th, 2016.
Approve. Second.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Babalani,
Yes.
Yeah. Excuse me. Approval of manifest 2016-02 in the amount of $450,368.33. Any questions? Mark?
Yeah, I got a couple. On page 6, the fabrication for Kaiser down there for number 3, Ray, how's
Yeah.
that going? I see we spent some money on it.
Yeah, it's coming along. You know, that's scheduled to be back in our hands middle of, I'd say, first part of February, middle of February, I think is what he talked about. So we'll have that in by spring runoff.
Do we have quite a few more bills, do you figure, coming for that, or is that just about wrapped up?
No, I have
Okay.
to dive into the bills on that. I think we have a few more.
Okay. I got a question on page 4, I think it is. No, it's on page 3. The Spring Valley Ranch, Ray, I see there's 2 interest payments and 2 payments for the same billing cycle of January 2016, the land contract. There's 2 separate payments?
Those are 2 separate land deals.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's all I got.
Candy?
I have nothing.
Oh, I got one question here. I see under page 3, under capital projects fund is civic contributions refund.
We had a resident that gave us a donation, and then we got contacted, and due to some personal reasons, he requested a donation back, so.
Okay. Let's see here. A few comments. I see where we surplus power sales was almost $6,000. Our purchase power was only 45, which is really hanging in there very nice. And a couple of comments to let the people know where some of your money's going. We paid over $84,000 to the employee retirement fund, $28,000 in health costs, health insurance, $3,300 for dental, and $1,700 for life insurance. That's all I have. Motion to approve.
I make a motion, we approve manifest 2016-02 in the amount of $450,368.33.
Support.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes.
Mr. Bogalani?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes on everything except one more time for George. I'll vote no on the payment for the acquisition of the land, which I never really voted for the first time around. Okay, we've only got two things on the agenda tonight. Is there anyone out there that has, want to say anything about something that's on the agenda? You'll be limited to 5 minutes. You'll have a chance later on to bring up anything else that you may want. Okay. Resolution 2016-02. Ray, you want to take that?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mangini. Under this resolution, we were contacted by the Michigan Municipal League, along with all the other communities, cities, townships, counties, schools. There was a new law put into place for 2016. It's Public Act 269, and I think you might have heard about it in the paper, but it came about through lame duck and really kind of late in the game. And there's a provision which talks about, or which limits the public comment or comment from a public body 60 days prior to an election for when they're dealing with millage issues. I did contact both Tom Casperson's office, Senator Casperson's office, and Representative McBroom, and there sounds like there's some confusion in the interpretations. Senator Casperson did vote for the bill, but there were some changes made, and under the procedures of lame duck, it does not go back to the Senate for confirmation. So there were some provisions that probably you might have taken another look at. However, there's an interpretation issue in how public bodies and what is considered factual dissemination of material versus advocacy. And I tried to press both offices as to, usually there's a reason why these bills get pushed through the way they do. And apparently there were 24 cases last year, disputes on that issue of advocacy in a local millage. And I believe they were all dealing with school millages, but 12 of the 24 were actually found to be approved as advocacy or approved as advocacy. So it wasn't just something that was kind of dreamed up. There was a problem with the interpretation on what that meant. So anyway, in lame duck, they pushed this bill through, and they didn't get any comment from the Michigan Municipal League, any assistance, or Townships Association, or counties, or schools. And so the league would like for us to consider this resolution opposing Public Act 269. We're asking in the resolution to repeal section 57, which is the section which deals with the language for the 60 days up to an election. And talking with the legislators down in Lansing, they don't believe a repeal is actually going to happen, but they do believe that follow-up bills will happen, and we'll get this clarified. So this is a support resolution for our public bodies. That's really what it is.
Let's see where Kingsford and Air Mountain are going to do this or already have.
Yes, they're doing that. They're handling it tonight as well.
I was reading an article in the Detroit Free Press, and it's half of this stuff I just don't understand. Like, they were explaining, originally on this bill, there were 13 items on this bill. All of a sudden, it gets to what they refer to as a midnight vote, and there's 51 items on this bill. So somewhere along the line, everybody jumped on and tacked a whole bunch of stuff onto this, and what everything is, I don't know. But supposedly, again, according to the Free Press, there's something in the making that's going to straighten this out.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just going to be another addendum to it or a whole new House bill, whatever it is, but they're going to try to straighten the mess out.
according to Senator Casperson's office, there's not won't be a repeal, it won't be a completely new bill. It'll be a fix-it bill, they call call it fix-it legislation, yeah. And it's really clarifying, because there's two separate sides on the interpretation of this advocacy issue versus dissemination of information.
Well, if they hold to this bill the way it's written right now, it's really a shame because, you know, looking at it, you know, people need to know what they're voting for, and especially when it comes to a millage, a lot of times people don't understand. And if you can't get out there and put things in the paper and have it written up, people don't understand exactly what they're voting for and where the funding is going.
Yeah, when I talk about the different sides of interpreting that advocacy, I mean, there's one group of attorneys that actually have said that within 60 days, you can't say anything, the way it's written. Which means if somebody stopped me on the street or called the office and said, what does this mean? I can't say anything, because
Right.
it's a gag order, basically. There's another side that says, no, that's absolutely wrong. You can explain in a factual way about the millage. So, you know, they don't even know. They tried to fix it because there was the confusing language before, and they made it even worse.
Right. But the way it's written right now, the way that I read it, it almost sounds like 60 days
Yeah.
before, you really should not be talking about it, or,
And that's where the schools, the townships and cities and counties, they all are saying the same thing. So,
It's gonna be hard to get millage passed with the way they got it listed.
yeah, you know, our goal is to put the information out.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have to, my opinion, I mean, I guess I'm advocating for, that we get this changed, but I mean, it's important to get that factual information out there.
I agree. I make a motion for resolution 2016-02, resolution to oppose PA 269.
Support.
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Okay, item number 7, approval extension of winter tax deadline. I know this is something we do every year. It's just a simple procedure. Deadline is proposed deadline payment to February 29th. Any comments?
I make a motion to put on the extension of the winter tax deadline to February 29th, 2016.
Support.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Babalani?
Yes.
Okay, any addresses from the audience on any item of interest? If so, just step up to the podium and name and address. Okay. Comments from the staff? Candy?
I have none.
Mark?
I wanted to know how we're looking for the next council meeting with some kind of an agreement or some information on the Norway Township trash collection. Are we making any progress, or
Well,
putting something together, some numbers?
yeah, we were working on that, and then we heard from the majority of the township board that they're satisfied with what they're doing. So, you know, how far do you want to
Okay.
push this? Because there seems to be only one person that is kind of on the fence. The others say they don't want to do it.
Okay.
I mean, that's,
Yeah, when I talked to Leonard said put a proposal together, but, you know,
but it sounds like the rest of the board is just absolutely,
I went down there to their meeting, their township meeting, not as a representative of the council, just out of curiosity more than anything. And 4 of the people on the board say they're getting, well, actually all of them said they're getting no complaints on the garbage. And 4 of them were against us basically going around there soliciting. So, and a couple of them felt, which was my feeling, GAD and Loadmaster are sister companies owned by the same guy, and I really wouldn't want to alienate Loadmaster, which is the largest employer in the city of Norway right now. And I'm afraid if we push this, it was a good idea, but I'm afraid if we push this, it would do no good. It would send out the wrong message to any business that might want to come into Norway. And I know for sure it will agitate Mr. Bryson, who is the Loadmaster CEO, whatever you want to call him. But always interesting to look into things. Anything else we have? Any comments from staff? Mary?
Nothing.
Ray?
I have nothing this evening. Stay warm. It's
Grant?
too cool out there.
Liam, I contribute to trying to set the record for shortest council meeting.
I do believe it was only 14 minutes one time. Jeremy, you would know, George was here? 14, okay, we're past, but thank you anyway. I just got two little comments. It's nice to see that the skating rink is going. Lots of kids down there. The weather the last couple days hasn't been too good, but this past weekend there were an awful lot. And I'd just like to make one little comment about the people out there on the social media. Be careful what you say. That's all I have. Motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
All support.
Mrs. Brew,
Yes?
Mr. Bobolani,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini.
Yes. Okay, 3 minutes.
There you go. Well, they sat there like little,